Okay, we keep saying it, but it's because we mean it. Any kind of outdoor burning today should be avoided at all costs. The conditions we're seeing, the National Weather Service says, will potentially tee us up for historic, potentially fire conditions, and we really just can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah, Travis County Judge Andy Brown already signed a disaster declaration because of that heightened risk of wildfires. And this afternoon, he is joining us now live from D.C. Judge Brown, thanks so much for being here. We do appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Even though you are there in D.C., I know you're keeping a close watch on the conditions here, so I'm hoping that you can give us some insight about what makes these conditions today so different compared to other high fire danger days.
Yeah, absolutely. Last night I was talking with Judge Gravel of Williamson County, my counterpart there, and we decided to enter this burn ban and disaster declaration simply because this is an unusual weather pattern for us. It's so dry, these winds are so consistent, and we could see winds getting up to 50 miles an hour. Understanding is that they're lower in the 20-mile-an-hour zone right now, but those are great conditions for a fire starting and getting out of control. And so we're asking everybody, we're working with the emergency services districts in Travis County, with Austin, with obviously the surrounding county as well, to get people not to light those fires, just to not put us at risk of a big fire today.
You mentioned that disaster declaration you signed. What does that really do for any potential response to fires that might ignite?
Yeah, so I think the main thing that we're trying to do here is increase awareness, and I appreciate y'all covering this because even just one spark can start a fire, and one spark has started a fire. For example, from people dragging a chain behind their vehicle, that has started fires in eastern Travis County in the past. The disaster declaration allows us to align with the governor, and we're working very closely with Chief Nimkid of the statewide emergency response. It allows us to, if we need to take additional actions, such as evacuations because there is a fire or things like that, it makes that process easier. It also helps us recover funds from the state or federal assistance afterwards, should we have a large fire today. And so it's helping increase awareness. It's helping people remember that they should not be having charcoal grills today or anything that's going to start a fire. It also makes it easier for us to respond should the emergency shift one way or the other.
Yeah, Judge Brown, you touched on what we wanted to ask you about next, about what people can do for their part to avoid creating any kind of spark that would start a fire. So are there certain activities that people should avoid altogether? And I'm wondering if, for instance, they should put off lawn work to maybe another day this week when the weather's a bit calmer and not as contentious as this.
Absolutely. Anything that, like a lawnmower with that spinning blade could hit a rock and start a spark, anything along those lines. Of course, do not throw cigarettes out the window. If you're driving a truck that has loose chains on it, don't tighten them up, make sure that they're not dragging behind. And really also take this as an opportunity, especially if you're in the rural areas of Travis County, to reach out to your ESD. Those are the local fire departments that have great prevention advice and that we're working with closely. So they're suggesting things like making sure that there is a area around your home of a certain distance, I think 20 feet or so, to make sure that there's not brush or debris in that area. Clean the gutters out of your home. Make sure that there's not leaves built up there that could catch a fire. If there's a fire somewhere else and a spark floats and gets in your gutters, that could obviously start a fire too. But I think this is a great time just to check in on your emergency status of your household. And if you have questions about that, you can reach out to your local emergency services district or check my social media feed about best practices in emergencies like this, and just really listening to the news, listening to the weather advisories, and making sure that today you're not starting a fire. I think all of this paying attention to the weather underscores the fact, I got to say, that funding for the National Weather Service and NOAA and things like that is so critical to our day-to-day lives and day-to-day safety. My hope is that folks in DC will see that and see days like this as a great example of why we need good weather predictions and good participation from the government on that.
We just want to quickly note as a last question here, you're obviously in DC today. We know you're watching situations across the country. Everybody was watching the recent devastation in California. Any new things that you all learned as leaders that you might be able to apply in Central Texas on days like today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually in DC right now advocating for funding for our passenger rail that hopefully will go from Austin to San Antonio. But yes, I've also talked to others about emergency preparedness, especially Chief Nemkid. So he runs the state emergency response apparatus for Texas. And I talked to him this morning about what we're doing in preparations, and he's always there to help us as well. But the thing I think that we've all learned from California is that we need to work together. That means the state, neighboring counties like my friend Judge Gravel in Williamson County and myself. It also means working with our local fire departments to make sure that not only us as a governmental organization, but individuals are doing everything that they can to prepare to make sure we don't have a devastating situation. And so what that means is understanding what is an evacuation route from your house. It's best to have 2 of those. It's best to have a place to meet your family members outside of your house should a fire occur so that you know everybody's accounted for. Having some kind of go bag with 72 hours worth of medicine, clothes, things like that is also helpful. But I think the biggest thing that we are trying to work on here is making sure that there's not things that can start fires on your residence. So debris around your house, you need to clear that out. And again, reach out to your local fire department to get what their best practices are. I know that they all have it on their websites, and they're actually willing to come out to your house to look at your situation and give you specific advice as well.
Well, Judge Andy Brown, we appreciate you so much taking the time this afternoon to join us and talk more about this. Thanks again, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.